Hey guys, welcome to your second masterclass today titled Flow 101. A little bit about getting into the zone and what it really gets to get us in that feeling of ecstasy and just working at our peak performance. Guys, there's a little topic there about how personally or as a group you can just do better. I dive into some things that hold you back and give you a step-by-step process as to how you can harness the power of Flow 101. So sit back and enjoy today's masterclass. With love, MLD. Everybody, and welcome to your second masterclass. Today's masterclass is titled Flow 101, How to Unshackle Your Creativity. Hope you guys are warm, hope you guys are ready. Today's masterclass is going to be really amazing. Okay guys, what is a flow state? Some of you have had that experience of getting in the zone. There's various ways to get into the zone. It could maybe be that crazy feeling you get when your favorite song comes on the radio. Maybe some of you have a playlist that just inspires you to get through your day or through a project. I know when I need to do certain tasks, I play certain types of music. I know a few people who have admitted that they have playlists that they use to clean the house on the weekend, and before they know it, they're still dancing their ass off, and they're just loving that moment. It could be like me, your first cup of freshly brewed coffee in the morning. There's nothing quite like waking up, putting some beans in the grinder, grinding them and having that hot cup of fresh coffee. Maybe it's an adrenaline rush you get when you engage in extreme sports. I know when I've done a few warrior races myself, it just feels like this huge rush of ecstasy and nothing can stop me. Another one is some of us have had laser focused attention, maybe after you've smoked some marijuana. There's nothing wrong with this, guys. There's a lot of research promoting the use of psychedelics. If used responsibly, they actually do have benefits. Some of you might like to just do basic meditation in the morning or the evening. It doesn't matter, whatever gets you in your flow state, the list goes on. Something you know and you need to remember is that you will not be in a state of ecstasy all the time. You get your flow state and then you stop playing that song, or you change your playlist, or your cup of coffee runs out, for instance, and then you get back to like a normal state, and that is fine. As Jamie Wheal says, don't expect everything in your life to happen all at once. We live life in chapters. I'll go back to this in a few seconds. So the flow state. Macro and micro peak states as described by Jamie Wheal again. So a macro peak state, as he describes it, could be a life-changing epiphany or an aha moment where you just have that amazing, everything just makes sense. A micro peak state, as he describes it again, could be a simple walk with your dog where the sunlight gleams through the leaves, and for those 30 seconds you just feel extra alive. Everybody has had access to peak states in their lives and will continue to have these peak states. So what on earth is a flow state? Like a book, life is a journey. We need an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. And like life, flow states are a journey. They have a beginning, a process, and an outcome. Jamie Wheal and Stephen Kotler have used more than 100 years of research in their Flow Genome project, where they aim to improve peak performance in humans by seeking the purest experiences of being. The aim is to discover an experience that makes you come alive or achieve an altered trait of mind through altered states of mind. This can be through psychedelics or extreme sports or even your favorite song. These experiences that you have are key to motivation, creativity, and flow states. We'll be focusing on creativity. So what does it mean to be creative? Being creative could be where a new idea comes to light. Okay, as a designer, it could be finding ways to be more sustainable when designing a building or a product. or you create amazing solutions to new challenges that arise in your life. You need to be able to let yourselves be free to explore these possibilities. And recognizing that you have a purpose or a mission helps you be creative. So, purpose. A little quote from The Way of Nowhere. If purpose clarifies who we are and what we want to stand for in the world, the next challenge is to tap into this purposeful wellspring as a way of releasing our communal creativity. This is about our skill in bringing being or form out of nothing through the force of our imagination. It is about our ability to create. So let's dive into what creativity is. Okay, we all know the light bulb, that whole metaphor of the light bulb going off in the head, that creativity. So let's just look at that a little bit more. So the fundamentals of being creative. Number one, you need to be able to work in the here and the now. There's a recurring theme of being present that I've spoken about in a few of my articles. Creativity does not require that you are in an altered state of mind, but rather that you start by changing your mindset. Having a mindset that is open to feedback and alternative ideas. I spoke about this last week, about the evolving mindset. You need to let go of your ego. This requires courage. And you need to be aware of the chatter, both internal and external. We'll also look at challenges versus outcomes, and then the idea of surrendering to, but enjoying the creative roller coaster. So here's creativity. Okay, believe it or not, if these four things, the here and now, the chatter, the ego or the macho, and the mindset are not looked at and kept in check, they can actually limit your creativity. So let's start with the present. Be here, be now. The benefits of being fully present. The Gestalt therapy focuses on the here and the now. This doesn't mean that the past and future are unimportant, but rather that they do not exist. Be mindful. Move past the patterns of your daily routines. Here's another quote about time and how being present is actually a beautiful thing. So this is from William Blake. To see the world in a grain of sand and heaven in a wild flower. Hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour. So just to go back to the Flow Genome Project, time slows down, self vanishes, so you get rid of the ego. And then through that, action and awareness merge, and then you are in the flow states. So that just ties those two things together. So, chitter chatter, you need to learn to silence the dialogues. The first one is your interior dialogue. This is your unconscious act of comparing what you have experienced before with a new situation. Okay, this is where you stay close to what you know and you hide from what you don't know. You are so accustomed to this inner dialogue that you're often unaware it is even happening. Your exterior dialogue is where you silence your inner chatter, which allows you to be receptive of feedback from others. But be warned though, because this can be a disadvantage when everybody just wants to make their point heard and interrupt one another. This becomes superficial and ego-driven. So guys, we all know this guy, Hard Eddie from Four Ways. We need to drop the macho, okay? Letting go of the ego. As I said before, this does require courage. When you are present, you can emerge into a space of vulnerability, again about having courage, and realize that you do not know everything. And this is linked to that fixed mindset of believing that you know everything and unwilling to learn new things. So when you change that mindset and drop the macho and become vulnerable, it facilitates the process of learning new insights from other people. And dropping your status will allow you to see everything with fresh eyes. In a team roller coaster, we'll look at that just now, it is critical so that everyone sees the same things with those fresh eyes. Brief recap on mindset, the fundamentals, all right? Where you come from determines who you are and how you see the world. And based on our choices, we can either be the source of destruction or the source of creativity. Relying on pathways that have previously brought you success limits your imagination and keeps you in a fixed mindset. We spoke about this last week in the Mindset Masterclass. Creativity, the challenge versus the outcome. Here's an example of a challenge. Deadlines. Maybe you are presented with large amounts of information and you have little time to process it. An outcome could be a breakthrough, where you actually take the time to brainstorm as a group. And what happens? You gain insight from that. Another challenge could be believing that you are not qualified enough or that you don't have the right resources, where an outcome could be playing the hell out of those cards you've been dealt and being as resourceful as you can. Alright guys, let's hop on the creative roller coaster. So just a few rules before you hop into your seat. Alright, we've all been on roller coasters, I'm sure most of you have anyway. The flat line is no fun. It's the comfort zone. It's just moving on a flat surface. It's no fun. So right, you want to step out of that comfort zone, out of the flat line, and explore a new space where you do not know boundaries because it's uncharted territory. Okay, you need to be prepared for moments of fear, curiosity, trepidation, as well as exhilaration. There will be highs and there will be lows, not physical, but emotional. Your breakdown becomes your breakthrough. The physical lows on a roller coaster are needed in order to generate momentum for the physical highs, so remember that. Alright guys, here's a bit of a creative approach, a personal touch with points from the way of nowhere. So you need to start with a breakthrough question that helps define your challenge. Second one, as I said before, roller coasters are no fun alone. So the whole thing about a team. Make sure your question pulls the right people in to take this journey with you. They need to be prepared for the ride right through to the breakthrough, and they will typically have the same or similar questions as you. See this journey as one of discovery, which will spontaneously lead you in the right direction. Okay, leave behind all baggage. Make sure that you and your team are ready to move forward and that no one is holding on to their safety zone or the past or the fixed mindset. As you all board, you will experience a low. But as I said before, the momentum of the cart with the right people on board will propel you to the high. And your team, all with these fresh eyes of dropping the ego and of adapting a new mindset, sees through one another's assumptions and is able to explore their creativity deeper. So the journey ahead on this new creative roller coaster, from the way of nowhere. You start with your team with a breakthrough question and you dip into the unknown. But if you all have that right mindset and frame of vision, you rise through to the breakthrough and you experience that crest. So the unknown is uncomfortable. Okay, during creativity-based tasks, your duty is to question what you know and how you know them. Okay, this requires self-reflection as well as reflection as a team. You need to be able to engage in dialogue to explore possibilities and flow or meaning. Okay, your highs or your insights will come, and when they do, be present and enjoy that view from the top, from that crest, without worrying about what will come next. If you focus too much on the future, on what isn't actually existing right now, you may lose that insight and that view. Okay, if you all see the same view at the top of that roller coaster, you all have a collective glimpse of what could be, and all of you as a team are propelled towards that. To master the creative roller coaster, you need to see the meta position and determine the best way forward. The meta position, guys, is simply where you're able to stand above a given situation and experience the whole pattern at play. Guys, a brief summary of how to get into flow. Number 1, be present. Number 2, have the right mindset. Number 3 and 4, let go of your ego as well as your inner chatter. Number 5, clarify your intention or your purpose or your breakthrough question. Okay, and be mindful of how you engage with others. This ties into dialogue again. Okay, do not be afraid to dream, guys. Imagine, unshackle that imagination, unshackle their creativity, and dream big. Okay, if you dream big, you can have really, really amazing breakthroughs. And listen with depth. Okay, from be it feedback from other people or from your team. Okay, and interrogate those meanings and assumptions people make. All of it. And you need to make the space safe for discussions. And you need to value diversity, okay? And when you value diversity, you fully inquire the diverse beliefs of others and be the one that encourages the suspension of disbelief. It is very, very important to do that. That's just a summary of how to get into flow. And guys, just to end off with, a big decision you need to make when you adopt this roller coaster is how will you handle your ride? Another quote from the way of nowhere: it is at this point that we can either hold on for dear life as the ride takes us to our edge, or relax into the fall and live the moment and the adventure of not knowing. It either becomes a white knuckle ride or an opportunity to let go. Guys, thank you for your time in our short masterclass. I hope this has inspired you to be more creative and inspired you to maybe work as a team and achieve greater outcomes. I look forward to doing another class with you soon. Have an awesome day further. Share this class with people who you know might need it. And with love, as always, MLLD.